Good evening, people. Monday, and we are back for episode 83. So guys, what a day it has been. I've not really picked up the phone today as I've been in the office all day, and because I don't have two phones, I couldn't really pick up the phone to an estate agent on one and record on the other. So yeah, when I have been talking to agents, I haven't been able to capture it. I've spoke to 4 or 5 today. 4 of them friend values, one of them to try and get secured today. Don't know if it's particularly going to happen today, but we'll see. So, good evening, people. Just thought I'd come and catch up on site and see what is going on. First fix, electrics have started. All the plumbing is out. And I think a lot of the new copper pipes are in, but I'm not sure. So yeah, it's moving along nicely. It's been a busy day today. Still waiting on a call back from one of the estate agents that have got one of the properties that we're looking to secure. But purchase price we're looking at 150, end values 250 to 275, and if we do all singing, all dancing, extension into the loft, we get 325. So great project. Stats for a BRR. Have to be experienced, I think. So yeah, just a quick update in here. Shoot back home now and cook me a lovely beef dinner. People, what a day it has been. So I've been out with a friend of mine who wanted some help on a viewing. Went to a viewing with him in Sedgley, spent the afternoon with him just breaking down the property a little bit more in depth and just showing him a few little tips and tricks. I think he enjoyed. I think he's picked something up. So yeah, that was my morning. The afternoon, I had to do a few breakdowns, a few calls that was booked in with investors, vendors. Seems to be that I'm just repeating myself, but yeah, it just seems to be all systems go at the moment. So investors with Blockland, the vendors for the block of apartments that we have found for our bespoke client, just trying to confirm on the viewing that I've got on Thursday. And yeah, but the main thing being is helping someone has helped me, which has then put me in a good mood for the evening, for the day, whichever. But just because I've just been caught up so much, just didn't have time just to whack this thing out. So I thought I'd just give a little bit of breakdown at the end of the day. Currently sat at the desk. I've got a few things that I need to break down, ready to call the estate agents tomorrow. Need to set up a few things for floor plans. So we're looking at an app called Magic Plan for the viewings on Thursday, which will then get measurements, floor plans. So then we have an idea of more information to then put forward to the investor. But I will go a little more deep into that, the analysis of that once it's been confirmed. That's probably the best word to use. But yeah, I'm going to do an analysis on, or a breakdown of the property that I was talking about yesterday.
Got one of the properties that we're looking to secure. For purchase price, we're looking at 150, end values 250 to 275, and if we do all singing, all dancing, extension into the loft, we get 325. So
in Walsall, that was for 150,000. Still waiting to hear back from the auction house / estate agent, as I believe that there's some stuff going on with the vendor, whichever. that because it's probate, he's then seeing how much that he can accept because of debt on the house and stuff like that. So he's just waiting to see how much he can accept and whether the 150 mark is achievable. But for now, I am going to love you, leave you, get on with the stuff that I need to do, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Maybe Thursday, because I think I'm literally sat in an office all day tomorrow. But if anything changes, you'll see me. See you later. Good morning, people. Wednesday. No. Thursday. Thursday, the 14th of November. We are just on the way to Lichfield, Stephen Hamilton's offices. We are going for a meeting before I proceed onto a big viewing of 3 blocks of apartments. Yes. So I'm going to just go to one of the blocks of apartments that me and Jack went to about 2 months ago, 3 months, no, not, yeah, somewhere in that region. About 2 months ago I went to it. It's in Nottingham. A block of 12 apartments. We've got a bespoke client for Blockland that says that he wants it. We're basically just going, hence why I now have this. This is called a laser measure, for those of you that don't know. So we're going to check on the size of a couple of the units. So what some people don't know is that when they are looking for these blocks of apartments or multi-blocks or whatever you recognise them as, blocks of flats, yeah, it's probably all I can think of, to be fair, that some of the smaller units you can't refinance if nothing in the area is of that size that is selling, because the lenders just won't allow you to refinance on them. So I believe if it's below 30 square meters, then you have to just check comparables in the area or speak to a local valuer. So the bespoke client has got a local valuer, and we're going to go over there today just to measure up the rooms, get some floor plans, just so the client can see the vision, and you know, maybe even like converting some of the big 1 beds in there into 2 beds just by chucking up a partition wall, or taking out a partition wall and putting up another partition. Then we are going to see a couple of others that are just outside of the East Midlands, I believe. Very affluent areas again, and I'm looking at a creative purchase. Right, Future J interjecting in the video just to give you an outline of what a creative purchase is. Now, a creative purchase is pretty self-explanatory, but it is a way of purchasing a property, a business, something that is creatively purchased. So that could be, example, vendor finance, where vendor moves the property into a limited company or adds you as a shareholder onto that company, and then that allows you to raise a mortgage on that property. But then there's various stipulations. If it's something that you're interested in, get professional advice. Speak to a solicitor, speak to an accountant, and they will advise you best. I'm not a professional, so I'm not going to sit here and say that I exactly know how it goes. But just to give you an overview, property gets moved into a limited company, or you become a shareholder on the limited company. You raise a mortgage against that property, which will then allow you to pay X amount to vendor. That could also allow you to raise finance through the mortgage, buy-to-let mortgage, to do any refurbs, and then 6 months, 12 months, so on. You can rent it out, agree to have an amount of money that gets given to the vendor each month, year, quarter by quarter, however you want to set that up, then that will allow you to purchase the property using the vendor's situation with having an unencumbered property, which means no debt. It could also just be an out-and-out creative purchase where you agree a price, you can purchase it from him via a buy-to-let lending product, which would then also allow you to then say, right, after all of this, I'm still going to owe you, let's say, 100,000. You can then pay that off over an agreed period. Again, has to be all above board. Speak to your solicitor, speak to your accountants, and speak to anyone else from a legal standpoint that understands this process a hell of a lot more than I do. Back to last week, Jay. For ourselves. So I've been dealing with a vendor on this one, and I'm like, right, I like this block. It's a block of 7, fully occupied. There's a small bungalow that's within like the courtyard. It's got a decent amount of land that the developer behind it wants to buy to turn into like a car park or additional flats. But then, so the main thing about this is, one, you can do a creative purchase, which is vendor finance, which I'll go a little bit more into later on, and we can also add value to it by adding a dormer, as apparently the next door neighbour has done so. Dormer, extension, and again a bit of a reconfiguration on some of them. So we're going to go there as well. Don't know how many apartments, or if any apartments, we can get into at all, but yeah, that's what that's what my plan is with that one. If not, you know, it'll just get sourced on, not a problem, because I don't think it'll have a problem selling. So yeah, it's like all systems go today. All systems go. So guys, I am going to catch you either on my way to Nottingham or something along those lines. Spoke to Kev yesterday very briefly. Lucky bastards on a cruise in the Caribbean, or around the Caribbean, should I say. So, enjoy, you motherfucker. But anyway guys, I'll catch you later.
A few moments later.
Good afternoon, people. Now, after a weird morning, a weird week, and just a weird month in general, great. I come to Nottingham to do a viewing with the vendor. Luckily, Jack come as well, but Jack's not with me. He come in his own car, and now I'm stuck on a Methodist church in Nottingham with my brakes not working, my car not working. So, but luckily, the RAC man's here. So, guys, I'll catch you in a bit. And we are now back in the West Midlands. The car is behind. Just got to go and see the guys to get this sorted and then move on. As per offered, or promised, should I say, I says that I'd break this deal down in a very, very quick format. So, we're on Main Street, Stonall, Walsall. This property is on the market, as you can see, for 150,000. I'm going to show you how I do the analysis for it all. So first thing being, guide. I will work anything off what is on Rightmove, Property Filter, whatever you're working from. I will create a drive that will then be in here, which will then create me, I would have then something in there stating videos, pictures, a brochure that's more in depth, and then, you know, just something just to make it look a little bit better. Spreadsheet. This is pretty straightforward, to be fair. address. What I would do is, which I will show you now, in getting the EPC, so then you know how big the property is. Every property that's on the market should automatically have an EPC. Domestic property, that one, we know the address, and it's 82 square meters. So just put that in there. So we're going here off an all singing, all dancing, which you heard me mention beforehand. I'm not sure why my camera's now not working. Anyway, I've got that camera up there as my backup. So, purchase price 150. What some of you may realise, this property is the leasehold. So that we'll jump onto later on in the video. So purchase price is 150. End value is 325 because we're going all singing, all dancing. Stamp duty is 5% plus circa £2,000 in solicitor's fees. So that just gives us a lot more to go off of, which we can go into the breakdown and then go through the photos, which you can see just a few things. Front garden needs some work. Living room probably needs a back to brick refurb, new kitchen, flooring, back door. It needs everything, as you can clearly see. But so what we've done there is strip out 3,000, back garden 4,000, 5,000, 3. We've gone with the typical numbers, but the main things we've added on there is the extension at the back. As I say, we're going all singing, all dancing. These are just approximate figures. And then we've gone buying of the freehold. So because I said it was a leasehold earlier, we found out we can purchase the freehold by going to the person that owns the freehold. So that's what we've done, and that's the figure that we've got. 20k for a loft conversion, £7,000 because it's a back to brick plaster. Then it goes into the comparables, which I thought I'd go a little more deep into. Now, the good thing with this, next door and next door are both comparables. So if I can just find them here, I'm trying to be cautious of time. I've got 56 seconds. So there's your one comparable. And as you can see, they've gone into the loft. It looks nice. Had an extension out the back as well. So we're going for pretty much a like-for-like spec. Now, on the market, if I can get time, there is one for sale on the same street, 295 as a guide price, which as you can see here, it's directly next door. Now I'm going to stop and I'm going to switch on to this. We are back working. As you can see, so this is the one that's directly next door. It's on for 295 as a guide, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's not in great shape. So I'm not saying that it's a comparable, but it gives you a good idea of where this area is. So me personally, this isn't going to sell at all. But, you know, it kind of gives you that idea of where your end value would be roughly when you've done it up to a good standard. So that's why we have this end value of that amount. Let's put myself over there. Of this. So as you can see, my spreadsheet that I use then gives you your bridging, it gives you your refurb cost, it gives you what your profits are if you take it with a bridge, if you take it with a 9-month bridge, 12-month bridge, or you're buying it cash. It does also give you your money left in. So then, you know, all of those costs would go into here, break it down, give you your end value, work out what your refinance is, and tells you how much you've left in. You can see it's a little bit high, so it wouldn't necessarily stack. And then you can go into the likes of changing these as well. And that would give you how much profit you're going to get, roughly what your mortgage costs are. But just remember, these are costs that I know from, one, doing our refurb that we're doing now, two, from various education that I've done and from people that know the industry because they're in it, and just experience from being around it for so long now. So that's where this is. This would then normally filter into this, would give you an average cost there. Speak to valuers just to confirm it is what you think it is, which we have done. Rentals, again, for BRRRs, you can then put that in here as well. Put some comments in there for when it goes to an investor. But it just goes to show that there is a lot of deals out there, especially in the Midlands, when I hear so many people saying, I don't think there is much out there at the moment. But again, as well, another factor, when people are saying, oh, it's a 5% stamp, it's there. So what are people so worried about? And that's why I always think you just have to overlook these things and just get into it. But as a bog standard refurb, this is going to be like 60, 70, maybe 80 grand. But as a full, like, all singing, all dancing, woo! You're talking about 100 grand, 110, maybe a little bit more, because you never know. You could put in your foundations for your extension on the outside, and there could be no solid ground. But because next door have got an extension, you could always go and knock the door and just say, Mr. Neighbour, have you got any ideas on the... No, sorry. Mr. Neighbour, when you dug down for your extension, did you have any problems with foundations? They'll then clarify that and say no. So then, you're all good. But I hope that's been somewhat helpful. Just a little bit of an overview of the way that I look at deals and how we break them down. Maybe give some tips and tricks to other sources out there. Maybe also give some confidence for other investors out there. So guys, investors, if you want to work with me to find your next deal, drop me an email. My email will be at the bottom of the screen and in the description, and I will find you your next deal. Good evening, people. Sunday night, and I thought I would do a little bit of a explanation on what's happened with the car, and then set a little bit of a call to action for you guys, and then sign out for the week. So, one, I just want to cover off these videos. So my videos have stopped for 2 weeks. You'll be watching this on the 1st of December. So this allows me to keep track of my videos, make sure I'm filling in all the gaps, because there's many a times where I've gone, right guys, I'll catch you later, and then you don't see me for a day. Thumbnails are rushed, the content's rushed, I don't get much add value in there, I don't get much content of the house. So I'm just kind of like, take a 2 week step back, and then let's document everything properly. It's a bit of a delay for you guys, and I appreciate that. But please, please, please let me know in the comments what you guys have thought of this episode. So when it comes out, for me, it'll be not next week, the week after. So yeah, we'll take it from there. But I just want to explain the car. So the car situation is, on the Vauxhall Grandland 1.2 engine, there is something called a wet belt. The wet belt is within the oil tank. That is your timing belt, effectively. So you guys out there that understand cars, the timing belt, if it goes, it takes the engine. Luckily, it's not took the engine, it's just took the vacuum pump, the strainer. The belt needs changing, which is a considerable amount of work behind it from what I can gather, because I have a very, very good friend that's in the trade and tells me, big job, expensive job. So it's currently sat in a garage with Walsall to then do diagnostics, see what the repairs are going to cost, see if there's any damage, and see what the situation is, basically. But what I never actually realised was how bad this situation could have been. So I was driving down the motorway on the way to Nottingham to do a viewing with a vendor and one of my business partners, Jack. And as I've just got off the M1 for Nottingham, I'm coming down Slip Road and I've noticed my brakes aren't quite stopping me. So all of a sudden I'm like, woo, and I've slammed my brakes. I've noticed the pedals not really moved. So I was like, that's not good. What I need to do now is I need to get off and call out the RAC or the AA, because I'm with both. Funny story behind that. So called out the RAC, which you guys seen or would have seen, and he was like, yeah, so I think your vacuum's gone, this has gone, your belt looks like it's still on there, so it shouldn't have affected your engine too much. Got it back to the West Midlands from Nottingham, so I was like, great, I'm back home, that's cool. Got a courtesy car sorted, cool, I can still get about a little bit. And now I'm just waiting for what the situation is there, of whether I can get it covered under a warranty by providing all of the service history and stuff, which I've already been told little bits of what I'm going to need to provide. But it's a little bit scary that the brakes didn't work, and it could have been a hell of a lot worse than what it actually was. But we move on. We hopefully get the car back fixed next week, but we'll see. And yeah, so call to action for you guys. What did you like about this video? Did you like it? Do you like the thumbnail? Do you like the idea of me delaying it for a couple of weeks so then I can put out a better quality of content? So what you guys need to remember is I don't have anyone to just even edit my videos for me, so do it all myself, as well as trying to get around and make money and do this and do that. I also still want to do this because this holds me massively accountable. So I hope you appreciate it. So let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and most importantly, what you would like to see going forward. But the main thing, so for next week, I want you to ask me for the builder 5 questions. I can set up the camera, stand there with him and ask him those 5 questions. And I'll choose 5 of the best questions out there. So put 5 in there for you commentators. I don't know. For those people that comment, just put 5 questions below and I'll choose 1, unless I think you've got a couple of good questions in there. And then I can ask him next week, and then you'll see it in next week's episode. So, great. But for now, we're back with episode 83. Next week will be episode 84. So, don't forget, like, share and subscribe. And if you want to watch a previous episode of Jay's Weekly, then there'll be a previous episode here, and I'll put a random video here. But click here to subscribe as well. Massively appreciate it. I really want this channel to grow. Not for any monetary gain. I just want to be able to put my journey, my story a little bit more out there. But for now, I'll see you next Sunday at standard time of 6 PM. So guys, ta-da, a bit.